Wouldn't it be nice if you had some specific tools for stress relief and soul healing? Today we're talking about journal prompts for stress relief and soul healing that you're going to be able to do today. Welcome, I'm Kim Marie, and this channel is all about supporting women to step into their most empowered selves so they can live their most fulfilling life. Today we're going to talk about the benefits of journaling for stress relief and how journaling supports soul healing. And more importantly, I'm going to give you some great journaling prompts specifically for both stress relief and soul healing. I'm going to give you different ones for each of those. So let's get started. So first of all, of course, you're going to need a journal. I love to use my simple little leather covering on, I have actually multiple journals in here that I work with and for different topics. And so you're going to choose whatever works for you. And one of the biggest things about allowing journal prompts to help with stress relief is that you have a journal that you actually love to use. So choose something that's beautiful, that feels nurturing, that feels easy and inviting for you. Now, first I want to talk about the benefits of journaling for stress relief. Journaling is such a powerful tool for releasing and expressing your emotions in a safe and comfortable way, and that can shift things significantly. It can greatly reduce anxiety, significantly calm your nervous system, and allow you to feel a sense of presence when maybe you were kind of dissociated before. It's also a really powerful tool for self-reflection, which is something we really need to do if we're going to relieve our stress. So if we are not taking time to presence and self-reflect, then our stress levels are going to go through the roof, and that's not going to help us, right? We actually have to self-reflect in order to become more self-aware, to understand what is causing our stress and how to move beyond it. Now, journaling can also be a very powerful tool for soul healing and powerful growth. What I mean by soul healing is that our soul is here on an evolutionary journey, but often our souls fragment through traumas and different aspects of challenges that we have faced. It's like I mentioned the concept of dissociating. Well, sometimes it's not all of us that dissociates, but parts of us that dissociate. So journaling can be a way of trying to call back those parts of ourselves that have fragmented, those parts of ourselves that we've lost connection to, all right? So there is an opportunity through journaling to bring soul healing through both presence, because our soul wants to be embodied, fully embodied, and that's something that most of us struggle with, actually, to be fully here, present to all that we're experiencing, whether it's really difficult or really joyful. We want to be present to all of it, and journaling can be a tool that helps us to do that. Now, I have the first actually in a series of seasonal journals. I have always done an annual Sacred Nights of Winter journal, and this year I am starting to put out seasonal journals that you can work with throughout the entire season. So my Sacred Spring journal is available, and I want to invite you to check the link in the description to check that out. In this journal, you're going to get to embrace the incredible beauty and wisdom of spring, and that is a powerful tool for reducing stress and bringing soul healing, very connected with the way the season and nature can actually support us to do that. So this journal will be a perfect companion for this season of renewal, a soul nurturing, beautiful, guiding springtime. Journaling is also really, really helpful in self-discovery and healing past wounds. So you might have heard of the concept of shadow work, where we take a look at things that are in the subconscious. And a lot of times we can't look at them because we can't see them. They're in our subconscious, right? But when we start to journal, you'll be amazed at how much your subconscious starts to speak to you. And that helps you to begin to see things differently so that you can heal those old wounds and begin to see the things that keep you stuck. You might find yourself journaling something like a belief or an idea or a perception or a perspective that you didn't realize you had, and go, oh, okay, maybe I need to dig into that a little bit more. Maybe I need to explore that a little bit more and consider how I can create a new story or shift my perspective around that. So I want to offer you some specific journaling prompts for stress relief. Now, if you're going to create prompts for yourself, which you absolutely can do, you want to create prompts that offer some compassion or invite in the concept of compassion. That in itself is going to provide soothing balm to your nervous system and begin to reduce that stress relief, begin to calm you. Any of those kinds of prompts are going to help you tap into a sense of mindfulness, which also is calming, and hopefully a sense of gratitude as well. So here's the first prompt that I want to offer to you. First, you might want to explore what triggers me or makes me angry. What triggers me or makes me angry? And then you can ask yourself, what new story can I tell myself about that? So by asking that, you're paying attention now. You're presencing yourself to that moment of, oh, I just got triggered by something. Let me go journal about that. You can go pause in the middle of your day to go journal when something happens, but you can also pause to ask yourself and maybe think back to anything that happened earlier in the day that triggered you or made you angry. And how can you begin to see from a new perspective? You'll be amazed at what your soul will communicate with you and how just naming it, a lot of times we don't even get to name it. We're so busy feeling frustrated or triggered that we don't even name what it is that's triggering us. Stress levels can go down so much just by doing that. So that's a really powerful prompt. Another one around stress relief is, what am I deeply grateful for that maybe I take for granted? That's a good one, right? What might you look around in your space and say, wow, I've taken for granted that cozy fire and have not enjoyed it to the degree that I could, right? That's something you could really think about. Or I have a sweet little puppy laying down over there, and there may be times when I don't pay attention to her to the degree that I would like to, and I'm so grateful for her, right? So ask yourself that question. What am I grateful for that I might be taking for granted? That brings a tremendous awareness. Another great journaling prompt for stress relief is, what can I let go of or release? Oh, I've used this prompt so many times when I'm feeling overwhelmed in my life, and I sit down and I say, what can I let go of? What can I delegate? What can I give to someone else? What can I ask someone else to help me with? What can I let go of and just take off my plate and just decide it's not going to happen, or it's going to happen at a later date? And while it might take some time, it might take a few minutes of journaling to come up with it, because maybe in your head you're thinking, I have to do all these things. I can't give it away. No one else can do it. I have to do it now. You might be surprised that through journaling, you start to find some solutions. And so that's a really important key too, is to remain open to what you may not realize is possible. So now I want to offer you some tips for journaling prompts on how to have soul healing, or instigate or catalyze soul healing. So similar to that first question of what is triggering me or angering me, what you can ask yourself for soul healing is, what part of me is angry or triggered? And begin to have a dialogue with that part. So maybe it's a inner child part of you, it often is, that you could say, okay, how old is she? What is she really needing? What is she longing for? Why is she angry? Is she also afraid of something? Like, you can go deeper and deeper into the questions when you start to think about what part of you is actually angry. Because usually it's only fragmented parts of us that cause us to struggle with accepting what is. Now, accepting doesn't mean agreeing with. It doesn't mean that you won't change things. But when we can't accept it, we often are fighting against everything, or we're ignoring it altogether. And we're not able to find that sense of peace and calm and stress relief and soul healing that we're looking for. Another great prompt around soul healing is to ask yourself, what part of myself have I not been willing to forgive? We all have parts of ourselves that we've struggled to forgive. It might be a part of ourselves that we've disowned because maybe it wasn't well received when we were a child. That doesn't mean it won't be now. But it's really important to consider regathering those parts of ourselves and actually facing them, actually talking to them, and more specifically, forgiving them. There may be parts of you that you've just been angry at and frustrated at because you felt incapable or, incompetent or not enough or whatever it is, and you can't forgive yourself, or you made a mistake and you messed up and you're so busy criticizing yourself and beating yourself up that you're not thinking about forgiving that part. And I guarantee you that part is longing for forgiveness. So what part of yourself can you forgive? And a final prompt around soul healing is, what future vision for myself am I not acknowledging? That might be a little bit of a tough one, because we often don't know what we're not acknowledging, okay? But sometimes just asking the question and being willing to write about it, things come to the surface. This is why journaling is so holistically empowering. So ask yourself, what about my future vision am I not acknowledging for myself? What do I really want that maybe I'm not putting a name to? Maybe you want that special place to live, or that special kind of experience, or you haven't been willing to say it, to name it out loud. When we speak it, and even when we're witnessed by it, things can change so significantly, because the universe moves to meet us and actually help us manifest. So I hope you'll ask yourself those questions. Check out my Sacred Spring Journal. I really think you're going to love it. The link is in the description. It'll help you work with the amazing energies of spring that help us to remember who we are and really tune in to the many things we've forgotten, like maybe that little bit of our future vision that we have failed to acknowledge. All right, I hope those prompts were all helpful and that you find some wonderful stress relief and soul healing as a result of them. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.